A whole 3 days to apprehend a suspect involved in an internationally covered story. A scandal that only happens every once in a quarter century. And even then, you've only caught one of the 4 parties involved. That's pretty embarrassing, don't you think? Say what you want, but you can't argue with the facts. I'm quite the catch, wouldn't you agree? That's not exactly accurate, is it? Because you didn't catch me, did you? The only reason you have me right now is because I turned myself in. Double embarrassing. Uh-huh. Sure. Yeah. Look, we'll get to that in a second. Tell me, how's the public reacting? I mean, what, with my face and name headlining every article and news channel? It only makes sense that I'd be such a trending topic. The news cycle isn't the only thing I dominate. You'll find, detective, that stories aren't the only instance where I always come out on top. I just hope all those cameras got my good side. Oh, who am I kidding? I only have good sides. Anywho, if you'll just make sure that all the fan mail that's bound to roll in gets sent to my cell, that would be perfect. Testy. I hadn't realized I got you so worked up. But don't worry, detective, I will give you everything you want, and more. I know you're just dying to get into the dirty details, but be patient. I'd hate to finish so fast. I'd like to take my time, you know. I want to make you work for it. I want to make you wait for it. Soon I'll be singing and you will be screaming. See, you are just so confusing. First, you demand that I talk, and now you're telling me to shut up? Look, I can totally keep my mouth shut. You just have to give me something to keep it busy. But I can't promise you I'll keep quiet. Unless, that is, you bring in some of your muscle to get me in line. Those guys are scary, and they've only increased in number since the 19th, haven't they? But you know what? We can just go ahead and get started. I don't feel like having to deal with those security guards and officers, not more than necessary. I'm feeling generous today. Lucky you. Where do you want me to start? Let's see. Well, it all started when I was nigh but a wee lad. See, home life to school life was so very hard for me, and I was just too smart, too handsome, too athletic, too... Well, you should have been more specific. How was I supposed to know where you wanted me to start the story? Just for you, I'll be giving you the abridged version. My crew and I'll just be calling them my crew, because the deal we cut did not stipulate revealing their identities. Let's call them Side Character 1, Side Character 2, and Side Character 3. Pay them no mind. I'm the star of the show. We were all approached by some seller who had a client that collected fine art. Rare fine art. Things you can only get at places like the Met, the Musée d'Orsay, the Guggenheim, the British Museum, the Louvre. They only wanted the best and brightest, and so naturally they came to me. You know, be sure to write this down. I've got a cousin with a penchant for jewel thievery back in the States. I guess this sort of thing just runs in the family. She's got this nice back and forth with one of the officers in her area's precinct. Though I wish she'd convinced me to get into this hobby sooner. Had I known detectives would be as cute as you, I would have robbed the Louvre ages ago. So, we get the offer, we set the terms, we accept the job, If my cousin were involved, she would have concocted some horribly convoluted, hard-to-follow, sciencey plan. That's not my style. I like to keep it simple. But you have to admit, stealing over $100 million worth of priceless jewelry was nothing but a truck, ladder, power tools, motorbikes, and disguises for one of the most celebrated museums in the world. It's Scooby-Doo levels of laughable. Triple embarrassing. Anyway, as I said, I was in charge of the plan. Brains and beauty. I know. And it unfolded as follows. We had to time our arrival just right. We couldn't be there too early and stick out as totally not suspicious people doing totally not suspicious things at a totally not suspicious and very empty time of the day. But we also couldn't get there too late to where the crowds might prove to be a hindrance. We needed enough people roaming about to cover us, but not too many to slow us down. A window of time where suspicion was low, but some level of activity were normal. That left us with a very narrow window of time, just 30 minutes after opening. We pulled up in a truck to the Gallery of Apollo balcony facing the Seine, because it offered the best options for covert arrival, as well as a quick escape. We were actually even considering a river-based getaway. Did you know that? But in the end, I decided against it. It would have been so messy. And though you, detective, don't seem to mind getting a little wet for me, side character 3 can't swim. So we went for a different option. Once we arrived, we used an extendable ladder to reach the second story. You know, between us, ladders aren't the only thing that can grow 3 times longer. Now, I was the only one fast enough to climb the ladder quickly. Brains and beauty and brawn. I know. So I scaled my way up to one of the windows and made quick work of the panes. All that grinding and grinding away. Don't be too jealous now. Once we carved out a big enough space, I went in, along with side character 2. It was difficult, but I'll have you know that I specialize in tight openings. We smashed a few cases, grabbed a few shinies, and left the building via motorbike as soon as the alarm started going off. And thus ends the tale of how a thief whose beauty dazzled even a diamond triumphed over all. That is, until I ended up here. Moral of the story is, I was the most precious prize all along. Did you not hear what I just said? Of course, I know what we stole. A couple of shinies, remember? Oh, bull. Significant relic this, priceless piece of history that. They are stones, you know. If you're looking for something to rock your world, look no further than here, detective. Yes, we dropped one of the crowns during our escape, I know. Is it really that big a deal? Again, they are rocks. Some of the stones are literal diamonds. Trust me, I am an expert on hard things. I'm sure they're fine. Get them polished and they're good as new. A nice glow always comes after a good rubbing, after all. Yeah, sure, I'm still talking about the jewels. But who knows, maybe you shouldn't be taking gem care advice from me. I have tastes that are rather unconventional. I've never preferred such prim, refined cuts. No, my preference is rough, raw. Still talking about gems, of course. Anyway, yes, the loss of the crown was rather annoying. Side character 1 was particularly sloppy. But while disappointing, I still looked amazing wearing the jewellery. Just the jewellery. Oh, I wouldn't dream of it, detective. They were treated with utmost respect. I assure you they were handled with complete and utter care. You will find, Detective, that I am very good with my hands. I can be gentle. Or not, if you're into that. Well, that is just the $100 million question, isn't it? I'll tell you where the jewels are stashed if you just say pretty please for me. You know, that's not quite what I had in mind, but I'll take it. I'll take anything I can get from you, Detective. Stolen goods are hidden in an apartment at this address. Go ahead, dispatch a force to go retrieve them right this instant. I suppose this marks the end of our star-crossed encounter, doesn't it? Well, aren't you obsessed with me? Just can't get enough, can you? I should have known you'd be asking for more, more, more. But a motive, that's all. If you really want to know, I'd always found myself getting into situations leaving me with sticky fingers and a big mess. I speak the language of stealth and know my way around a lock, even for more unconventional marks, like say someone as guarded as you, Detective. Just begging to be opened, and I'd love nothing more than to slip into your vault and strip the whole place clean. And if you were a part of the haul, you'd definitely be the only thing I would want to take home. But I digress. My jobs were just too small, my work too perfect. What's the point in being the best of the best if no one knew you were the best, you know? I want to be remembered. I want to be revered. The masses will be calling out my name, and by the end of our little session, so will you. So I thought to myself, what's the flashiest heist someone can pull? Oh, the Louvre, of course. Detective, I am not done yet. Tell me, do you enjoy close-up magic? Rude. And I couldn't disagree more. Ending things with a sleight of hand and gasp of awe and pleasure. It really is so satisfying. In any case, there's one golden rule to magic. Surely you know what that is. That's right, Detective. Misdirection. And the very best of tricks have layers of misdirection. Like, let's say, a truly eye-catching, jaw-dropping, sensational heist of a renowned establishment that's bound to hold the attention of the world, as well as security and law enforcement. Resources spread thin, ever vigilant for thieves that are so clearly bound to be caught, right? Leaving certain areas of patrol understaffed while everyone is preoccupied, correct? And so security will be bolstered in these now vulnerable areas and paranoid establishments. More manpower equals more security, after all. Well, usually. Rushed increases in staffing usually leaves for some scheduling troubles and personal oversight. Guards will find that they're now working side by side with people they usually aren't on shifts with. People they've never seen before. But that's okay because the thief is caught, the day is saved. Sure, there might still be those bolstered patrols, but they're relaxed now. Their guard is down. Especially since the stolen goods have been located. And now the trick is over. I take my bows and the applause is deafening. Distracting, even. But little does the audience know that the stage has just been set. No one ever really pays attention to side character 1, 2, and 3, do they? Oh, Detective. When was the last time the police have done a thorough assessment of the Musée d'Orsay? I did say our client collected fine art, not jewels.